photo of Jennifer Aniston like kissing you on your birthday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what?
Look, it's so cool because I've interviewed her so many times that when she sees me, literally she'll go, Michael, yo, you like, she knows my name. And I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
And my wife doesn't like it, but I love it. I love it.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Justin the Guest. My guest today is very talented Michael Yo. You know him best from America's Got Talent, his comedy special Blasian. He's hosted and interviewed every single person, every single celebrity. He's gotten kisses from Jennifer Aniston, which we talk about. We talk about almost dying from COVID, Joe Rogan, literally everyone, having Chelsea Handler dare him to do stand-up. He's incredible. I've learned so much from him. I hope you like this episode.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
so
you
much.
bet. You bet. How are you?
Good. I love your background too, by the way. This is the coolest one I've seen.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
Did Chelsea Handler, I think I heard this, but did she dare you to do stand-up? Is that how you started?
She did. It was kind of a joke on her show.
Yeah.
Like I was watching a couple stand-ups and I was on the night before, like I was on the next night and I just tweeted, I think I'm gonna try stand-up.
Yeah.
And I didn't think anybody would see it. Nobody followed me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Next day I show up to Chelsea's roundtable and she goes, oh, you think you could just do stand-up? And I looked at all the comics and I go, well, it doesn't look that hard. And everybody lost.
Great response.
And then she really, after that thing, she goes, you really need to try it. You know, once we were off camera, she goes, but, and the one thing I'll never forget her say, don't be that guy that's just on TV that shows up and doesn't work at it because nobody will respect you. You need to be in the clubs.
Yeah.
That's always I remember about Chelsea because after she told me that, I hit the clubs hard and I still do. In Vegas, I'm at a place this week called LA Comedy Club, and I've gone out every single night because I'm trying to get this new special out. So it's a thing where I love comedy. A piece of me was missing when it was gone. And I just love, I don't know, I just love putting my jokes out there and getting my message out and moving people. So yeah.
I just watched Blasian again last night and
Okay.
By far, I think one of the best comedy specials I've seen. I love it.
Oh, thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
I cried at one point too. I laughed the whole time. I love it. So
Oh, you're so sweet. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. What was your writing process like for doing that?
You know what? It was just real life. It was pretty much it's my real life that I happen to write jokes about because what I do is I always start with a real story and then add the funny to it. A lot of things funny happen in my life every single day. So I'll find those stories and I'll heighten them a little bit, but it's all true life stories. It's so personal to me. And I really loved getting that special out.
I like want to be friends with your parents too. They seem like the coolest people.
They are the best. My parents are awesome, man. They tell it like it is, man.
Yeah.
That's how they are.
Your dad has a PhD in nuclear physics or
yeah, it was tough. It was tough because he's so smart and like I wasn't I would say I was an okay student. I was like a B, C student, but you know, my dad is like super smart. So it was tough. I definitely couldn't follow his lead in the academic world, but you know, like I was good at sports and I was good at like entertaining. So he's the one that told me to drop out of college because he was like, you're not smart.
You played football in college, right?
Yeah, I played a couple years at the University of Arkansas. I got too many concussions.
Incredible. Oh my God.
Yeah, I got too many concussions, so I couldn't play anymore. But that was before concussions were like a big thing like they are now. So luckily I got out and it's been all good.
You're one of the best hosts I've ever seen. Where did that come from? Where did that like passion? Because it's such a hard job.
Random. I was a radio DJ in Miami. I had a big show in Miami. And the president of E! At the time, Ted Harbor, they were looking for new talent and, you know, like a new discovery. And then I remember Annie, Maureen, and Tiffany. They came to Miami and I just went in for like an open call. And they saw me and they were like, oh, let's take you back. And, you know, Ted Harbor already knew about me. So it went from there where I had no TV experience. And then they put me on E!
Oh my
And
God.
only after I moved to LA, I appreciated being on TV because I thought that's how everybody got a job.
Yeah.
You know, you just like kind of hang out and then they're like, you want to be on TV? You're like, yeah. But now I know how hard it is because I remember about my third or fourth month at E, a line around the building. And I was like, what's that line for?
Mhm.
And my friend goes, oh, those are all the people just wanting to be on tape to work at E.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. This is like a special thing that I got hired at. So that's when I really started to appreciate it.
Were you nervous your first day, like not having any TV experience? Because I would have been freaking out, I think.
You know what? It was all about that fake it till you make it. I've
Yeah.
always believed in that. You act like you should be there.
Yeah.
Oh, inside, nervous as hell. Outside, oh, I was the most confident person. I was, oh yeah, what do you need? I
Yeah.
didn't know anything. I did not know any. I didn't know when they pointed at the camera that was me that meant to
Yeah.
talk. I was just watching everybody. Just learning as much as I could.
But you're so comfortable on stage. Like, did you always have that too?
You know what? Being in radio, you
Yeah.
get that
Yeah.
because you interview a lot of people on radio. So in radio, like when you do it, you don't want dead air. They call it dead
Yeah.
air when you ask somebody a question and there's no sound.
Yeah.
So there's two advantages of being on radio. You learn how to interview people from all walks of life,
Yeah.
even people that don't want to talk. And then the other thing is you have to paint, a good radio DJ paints pictures with words.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. And then when I got on stage, it was a lot easier because now they can see you. So it's like, oh, it's no problem then,
Yeah. You do it so well too. It's so much harder than I think people realize, and you make it look
Oh,
very easy. So
you,
give you a
you know
lot of
what?
credit.
I think it's from radio. And I believe like anyone that's been in radio for a while could really be a host because it's really once you know the script or get the idea of the script, it's all about ad-libbing and having fun. Because I
Yeah.
love, rather than in studio, I love live stuff.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Has it been a big change now that with like COVID going from doing a
Oh,
lot of live? I know.
oh my
So
God, COVID made it worse.
I know.
It's changed a lot. It slowed down the industry. I was supposed to shoot like 2 TV shows that I was hosting last year. Now
Oh,
we're waiting to see when we're going to shoot them this year. So
yeah.
it's definitely slowed down everything.
Mhm.
But heck, I'm blessed to be alive, so I can't
I
complain.
know. Yeah. How are you feeling? I read about I can't even
Oh
imagine what
yeah,
you went through.
it was
Like,
crazy. I almost died. We're coming up on a year. Wait, what's
God.
today? Today's the
Yeah.
11th. March 17th. So in 6 days, that's when I went to the hospital.
Oh
And when I went to the hospital for COVID, there was less than 100 people that died from it.
my
Now
God.
we're at 520,000 over that.
Yeah.
So I'm just blessed to be here. I showed up. I was one of the first people in the hospital with it.
Oh
I was like a guinea pig because I was in perfect health. So they were trying everything and
yeah.
it got bad in there, but I pulled through. So it was
I'm
a
so
beautiful
glad.
thing.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're okay. Emotionally too, with physically, like how
You know what? And I tell people, look, this is tough. Like
yeah.
it was tough for me and I still deal with stuff. It took me like 7, 8 months to get like fully better. But
Yeah.
for everybody else, I mean, people's livelihood has been taken away, everything is on pause. And it's that thing where if you don't feel good, if you don't feel right, you need to talk to someone because it can get
Yeah.
pretty dark. I'm
Yeah.
not a dark person at all, but
Yeah.
sometimes I was like sad and I just had to talk to my wife. It's like, why can't my body recover? Why can't I do
Yeah.
things? And then the financial strain like everybody's
Yeah.
going through, it's tough. So definitely uh feel free. You need to talk about it. If you're dealing with something like that, talk about
Yeah.
it because I've lost a couple friends,
Yeah.
through suicide. So it's not a
Oh,
good thing.
yeah.
It's not a good thing. And we need to be able to get rid of that stigma where if you
Yeah.
have some mental issues going on, you're not crazy, you're just normal and people need to talk about
Yes. Yeah. You said that so eloquently too. I
it.
was like, yeah, better than anything I could say. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I've had so many comedians on this, and everyone has talked about you pretty much almost about how you've
Oh,
inspired them and how you've done such like Craig was on here, Craig Conant, and was
oh, I
talking
love
about it.
Craig.
I
Oh,
know.
I'm so you know what? I started taking out Craig
Yeah.
at the beginning and to see him now headlining, and that's what it is, man. Life is short. You
Yeah.
need to give and you need to help people out. And I was listening to Joe Rogan and he was talking to
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, and it's so true. It's like information. Nobody wants to help other people with information.
Yeah.
And big comedian. Joe Coy is my mentor in comedy, and he's one of the biggest comedians in the world. And he
Correct.
shared so much information with me. And that's what it's really about. It's about information. It's about spreading love. It's about helping people out because it will come back. You don't do it for it to come back. But man, if you're a good person, I really feel if you're a good person and treat everyone right, it
Yeah.
eventually comes back, you know?
Yeah, me too. Did Joe ever give you, because he's so, I mean, so insanely
Yeah.
talented. Did he give you any good advice that you're like, I'm sure he gave you a
His
ton of advice, but like,
his biggest thing that I'll always remember was don't tell jokes, tell real stories and make those funny.
ah,
Because now I've been in comedy 10 years, which in comedy is like, okay, you're just starting.
I know, it's
Now
like
you're
your
getting
baby. Yeah.
like in comedy, it's a long haul. Like you got to be in it. It's nothing you're gonna even in acting, some people do it 10, 15 years and don't break. Some people do it a year and break.
Yeah.
Comedy, you can't do it a year and be huge. You'll
Yeah.
fall on your face because you're not ready. That's
Yeah.
what I love about it. It's an equalizer. But Joe, what I've learned through the 10 years is people outgrow jokes, but they don't outgrow you. So that was Joe's whole thing is make people love you and your story and how you tell it. So then you become a real life sitcom to them.
Mm.
Because when that special that you watch, Blasian,
Yeah.
my son was almost 2, but he was still 1.
Yeah.
Now when I shoot my next one, he just turned 4. So
Oh,
that's like 2 years and 2 months. So it's a kind of thing where, oh, now you're going to hear a continuation of the story.
yeah.
And so that's how I do comedy. Everybody's different,
Yeah.
but Joe taught me that is make the comedy, make people love you in your comedy, not just a joke.
Yeah. God, that was
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's true too, because I feel like I know you so much after watching the special a couple of
Oh,
times.
yeah.
Like, I feel like I know your family. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, that's the whole
Yeah.
thing. You want to make a human connection with somebody where they're invested in you. And then look, no offense to the great joke writers, because there's phenomenal joke writers, and I respect that so much. But when people leave a show, I want them to go, man, that show was funny, and I know this guy. I
I
feel
know.
like I know this guy, and he's a good guy. So you they have more of a connection with you. That's how I try to do my comedy.
Yeah. I think of you a lot because I do sleep math. And what
Oh
you're
my God, we all do sleep math.
I know.
I do it every night.
I
I
know.
do it every night. Like I can't go. Well, we don't have to go many places now, but it's a thing where when there was no pandemic, when you, especially married with 2 kids, you're like, oh my God, we got to get out.
Yeah.
Like, because if you get somewhere at 7, then you got it's an hour and a half, 8:30. You got to be in bed by 10. Your kid's gonna wake up. So literally, once you get older, you plan everything out by sleep. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
my life right now.
How was AGT too? I know you did America's Great.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what? It was phenomenal. I
Yeah.
wish I would have went further,
Yeah.
but it was a thing where it was such a great experience. I always just wanted to perform in front of Simon. That's the main reason I did it,
Yeah.
is just for Simon to see me because he's a kingmaker, man. If he likes you, you'll be big. But unfortunately, after my first round, he got hurt, so he wasn't there, and that was a big bummer to me because I
Yeah.
wish I could have performed in front of him. But what happened at AGT, I had a set I was gonna do the Blasian set, my second round.
It would have been great.
And
Yeah.
then the network was like, well, it might be too racy. I
Ah.
was like, all right. So
Yeah.
I sent in another one set and they were like, that might be too racy. And so I winded up with the one I did. I wasn't happy with it, but
Mhm.
it is what it is. But I did my thing. I got new fans, and that's all that
Yeah.
matters. But it was a blast, and I loved the show. And I think it's the biggest talent show in the world. It
Yeah.
can literally change people's lives, and it's changed a couple of my friends' lives. So good for them.
Yeah. Was it different because you'd interviewed pretty much all of the judges before? I feel
Yeah.
like you've interviewed everyone in Hollywood, but like, was it
Yeah, I
different?
was thinking about who I haven't interviewed.
Yeah.
And that was, I think the only person I haven't interviewed, and I went through this list is Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. I think those are the only 2 people, like superstars, that I haven't interviewed. Everybody else I have.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a photo of Jennifer Aniston like kissing you on your birthday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what?
Look, it's so cool because I've interviewed her so many times that when she sees me, literally she'll go, Michael, yo, you like, she knows my name, and I'm like, ah,
Yeah,
and my wife doesn't like it, but
yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I know. Is there any celebrity that surprised you with either like how cool they were or how normal
You
or
know what? Like, who's always a good time? The Rock. Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is great. Yeah, Tom Hanks is phenomenal.
So crazy.
I mean, these people just Will Smith. What's
Oh,
great about Will Smith, he says hi to everybody. You know, when he walks in a room, he makes it feel like he's not bigger than anyone in the room when you know he is. As
yeah.
far as like movie stat, the movie's it's his movie,
Yeah.
but yet he treats everybody with respect,
Yeah.
and it's good to see, man. It's funny, like the people that have the biggest attitudes are like more of reality stars, and the big movie stars, they get it and
Yeah.
they know how to treat people, and maybe that's why they're movie stars.
Yeah. Do you want to go into acting and that type of?
I started about a year ago, but then the pandemic hit. So I've
Yeah.
been doing a lot of auditions, been getting great feedback. So
Yeah.
I really feel comedy and acting is my thing. And
Yeah.
I think not too long from now, I'm gonna land the acting. I'm very confident. I'm very
Love.
confident that I'll land something in the acting world before the end of the year. That's my goal. I set
Yeah.
goals. You know,
Yeah.
like my goal is to shoot a brand new special by the end of this year and to land an acting gig. So that's on my board.
Yeah.
Not that I make a board,
I
but
know, but yeah.
that's on my mirror. I make little sticky notes and I put it on my mirror,
Oh,
and
that's
I'm
awesome.
so I can focus. The first one is working out. Second one, well, it goes family first,
Yeah.
working out, and then it shows my personal goals.
Oh.
So that's the special and getting an acting gig. And it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be full time, just getting on a show,
Yeah.
you know, even if it's a guest star. That's my goal for this year, and then building from there.
Yeah, because I was watching when I was watching your special. That's all I kept thinking too. I was like, oh, this would be a great sitcom. This could do this. He should
We're
act.
trying. We're
Yeah.
trying. I mean, we're trying. It'll eventually happen. I feel very
Yeah.
confident about it because what's changed a lot since I was a kid. Like there was never commercials with like interracial couples
Yeah.
and things like now it's all over TV and
Yeah.
it's beautiful to see. So I really feel now is the time
Yeah.
for a sitcom like this. So it's just a matter of time and it'll happen.
Oh, it's so exciting. I know you're traveling. I think you're going to St. Louis soon. How is?
Yes, so I'll be in St. Louis March 25th and 27th. I'm fully vaccinated, so that's why
Oh,
I'm starting to
yeah.
go back out, but I'm still safe. I wear my mask and
Yeah.
but I'll be performing. I always do well in St. Louis. The crowds are freaking amazing out there. I
Oh,
love St. Louis. So I'll be out there and I'm doing 5 shows
oh,
and I have a special guest coming with me. So it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited to get back on stage and
yeah.
like just
Has it?
work out this new material for the special. So they'll be seeing the new material first.
Oh, that's so cool. Has it been different preparing for live shows now? Like, how
It
do you?
well, I'm luckily because after my whole corona issue, I moved out of
Yeah.
LA. So
Oh,
me and my wife and kids, we're in Vegas now, and we
oh,
rented a place 5 houses down from my wife's family. It's beautiful.
oh, that's
So
so.
we have babysitters, thank God.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's I've been going up a lot here
Oh, awesome.
because it's on the strip. A lot of comedy clubs are open. They're
Yeah.
very safe. I go in, do my set, and I leave. I'm not around people.
Yeah.
But it's been really, really good. And the new material, I'm so excited about it. Like
Oh,
it's a lot deeper than my first special, and because I almost died, so I get to
yeah. No big deal, you know.
no big deal. But to tell the story about almost dying from COVID, and
Yeah.
it's funny. It's like probably the best stuff I've ever read. It's so funny, and people by the end of it, people are I mean, during the whole story, they're laughing.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is amazing that you can take this experience, and that's what I love about comedy,
Yeah.
and have people laughing at it and enjoying it, but you're still hitting a nerve with them too.
Yeah. I think that's smart. I'm in Philly right now because I was like, I'm in my, that's why this is my background, my like child
Uh-huh.
bedroom. Because I was just like, I need to get out of LA. I was like going,
Oh, LA, yeah, yeah. Do you plan to go back?
yeah. I mean, I put all my stuff in storage. Like we're working remotely. There's some comedy theaters in Philly open. So I keep going up there.
Oh
But
yeah, Punchline in Philly is one of my favorite places. I'm a regular at Punchline. I love Punchline Philly, and
oh, awesome.
yeah, I usually, I mean, before the pandemic, I usually go every January. So we'll probably
Oh,
do it next January, like a year for 2022. But still, that's big shout outs to Punchline Philly and everybody over there. They've been down with me at the beginning, and I appreciate
oh,
it.
awesome. No, so I've only ever seen you kill. Like you're so funny. Have you ever bombed before? Like when you were
Yes, I did at a college, because you see my special, like younger people can't relate. And I was doing colleges because I was doing it for the wrong reason. They were paying me a lot of money
Yeah.
for a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So one day I was just over it. I was gonna quit doing them anyway. And then I was telling a story, and I'll never forget it. This kid raises his hand and goes, "So, when are you gonna be funny?" And I loved it. I loved it because I wasn't funny. I was over it. You know, when you do
Yeah.
something, you just like have, I wasn't, yeah, I go, you're right. I refunded the school's money. I left and I told my agent, well, it was a college, I'm never
Yeah.
doing colleges again.
Yeah.
And because and also another thing happened that got me to that point is, and no disrespect to these college kids, they're doing their best, but I had a mental problem of when I don't like, I'm a professional. I've been on, I've hosted things. I feel like
Okay.
I'm on the right. I don't want a college kid controlling my destiny, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want, like, I remember I was at this, it's called NACA.
Yeah. Oh
And
God. Yeah.
you know about NACA?
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So NACA, for all the people listening that don't know what it is, it's a big convention where stand-ups go, musicians go, poetry, speeches, and colleges book you.
Yes.
So, and then you stand in front of a booth and they tell you if they want to pick you or not. And so I was over that. But a girl comes up to me from a college and goes, "Well, we just booked Eliza," and which I love, Schlesinger,
Yeah.
but if we have extra money, we're going to book you too. And when she walked away, I go, this is not what I'm in this for.
Yeah.
I don't want to be controlled by a college kid
Yeah.
and I don't want my feeling of happiness or sadness to be controlled by a 17-year-old or 18-year-old, well, however they older in college. So
Yes.
I just quit and I've been happy ever since, you
Oh,
know?
good. Yeah.
So that's why I got out of that.
Yeah. Those are the hardest. I've never heard one person like love doing colleges. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, the money was great, but you got to remember, you fly in alone. You got to drive sometimes to these colleges, and then when you get there, it's not set up right. It's just something. Now, Texas, what school did I do? I did Texas Tech.
okay.
That was phenomenal. They have an auditorium. I mean, it was like doing a real show.
Oh,
But I've heard horror stories of people going to like break rooms and they're playing pool in the background. All the, it's no. Like, if I'm gonna do comedy, I'm gonna do comedy. So that's
yeah.
why I got out of that.
I feel like you're doing a million things all the time. Like, how do you balance that and family life and everything you're doing? I need
So
help. I'm like, tell
so
me
my schedule, are you a parent as well?
what? No, no.
Oh,
But
okay,
I just
okay.
need
So
help in life in general.
help in life. I need help in life.
Yeah.
But
Just
my
fixing.
thing is, what I do is I wake up super early
Ooh,
before my kids wake up, like 5:30 in the morning,
oh,
and then I'll do all my work by 9 a.m.
so
So
smart.
so then I can just spend time with my family, and then it kind of evens out because some weekends I'm gone. Like, when I go to St. Louis, I'll be gone
Yeah.
for 4 days or 3 days.
Yes.
So I can't spend that time. So I'm trying to make up the time in the morning when they're sleeping or just getting their day going so I can hang out with them all day. And that works out the best because after they see me, it's hard to leave.
Oh,
So I'm gone before, they know daddy goes to work in the morning. So I'm gone before they even wake up. And when I come back, it's usually like, okay, I'm here. But today, since I want to do your podcast, so I worked, I went home, ate breakfast, hung out with my family, and then said, okay, I'm gonna go back to work for a little bit
yeah.
because I'm doing your podcast, and then I got a podcast right after. So I'm doing Craig. I'm interviewing Craig.
Awesome. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
When you were hosting, does it change at all, like how you host online versus like host a podcast versus hosting a show?
No, I mean, I'm more outspoken on a
Yeah.
podcast. I can talk about anything where,
Yeah.
what I figured out is I've been on a lot of TV shows where it doesn't matter who's hosting it. Really, it really doesn't matter who's hosting it because
Yeah.
people are coming for the content.
Yeah.
It's kind of like my first boss in radio. His name was Mark Chase, phenomenal consultant,
Yeah.
and he's still in radio. And he told me when I worked in Miami, the big pop radio station Y100, and he
Yeah.
goes, just remember, the restaurant is the music. People come for the food. The food is the music. You're a waiter at the restaurant. Now, if you're a great waiter, they will ask for you by name. because they'll want you to serve them, but they're still coming for the food regardless.
Yeah.
So be a great waiter at this restaurant. And that kind of stuck in my head, and it kind of led me through my career. It's like, like when I worked at Insider and Extra and all this stuff. Look, they're not coming for me. They're coming for these celebrities they're watching.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I could be a great waiter and they could like me, but they're not coming for me because that platform doesn't provide that. But like at Chelsea lately, people were coming for Chelsea. When the suit was big, people were coming for Joel McHale.
Yeah.
So those type of platforms aren't platforms people come for the host. They come for the stories and the gossip.
Yeah.
So I shifted after I got out of it, like a couple years. Now I'll still do it occasionally, but
Yeah.
I shifted out of it where I was like, you know what? I want people to come for me.
Yeah.
So that's the shift, and that's how I got more into comedy and things like that. And it's cool to hear, like last year or a year and a half, I made the shift where everything is just comedy. And now people introduce me as comedian Michael Yo. So the shift has worked. Now I got to just keep pushing.
Yeah. How was it? So what I loved about your special too is the set list. I thought was so good. It flowed so
It
well.
flowed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, how did you decide on how to do that? Because I feel like that's such a tough skill that a
It
lot of
is tough.
yeah.
It is like I worked it out for a whole year before I
Wow.
even shot the special. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that's the thing I'm having trouble with. Not trouble, but that's what I'm
yes.
going over now is
Mhm.
because for me, if you tell a real story, it has the flow. If you're
Yeah.
just telling jokes, jokes can go everywhere. I can
Yeah.
say this, I can say that. It doesn't have to interlink. You don't
Yeah.
need to tell a story because it's all jokes. With mine, I had to take you from the beginning to where I am now.
Yeah.
Where with my new special, it's kind of the same. So I'm trying to find the threading. First of all, I'm just trying to see if the jokes work
Yeah.
first. If the jokes work, once I get the joke to where I'm like, okay, it's ready, then after I get like probably 7 or 8 jokes that take up about 30 to 45 minutes,
Yeah.
I'll go, okay, they're all ready. Now I can place them in order. But in my mind, I kind of am
Yeah.
getting the name of the special and the layout because for me, this is just
Yeah.
for me. I like to know the name of my special so then I can kind of write for it
Yeah.
and plan it out.
I can't wait to see it now. I'm like, oh, come on.
Oh,
Really?
I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Like my friends that have seen it, like locally in Vegas,
Yeah.
it's so good. I'm so proud of it.
Oh, I can't wait. So
Oh, I appreciate you.
so I know you start with Fear Factor with Joe Rogan. How
Yes, can you
much
believe that? I
yeah.
was on the pilot of Fear Factor, which is crazy. Pilot of Fear Factor, I think it's like 21 years ago now, and
Yeah.
I was in Austin, Texas, just a radio DJ, and I saw an ad in the paper, and they're like, "Hey, you want to try something new?" I was like, "Okay, I'll try it." So I showed up, and they casted me for it, and before you know it, I'm in LA at that country bar on the Sunset Strip where they ride the horse,
Oh, yes, I know.
Saddle Ranch or whatever it's called.
It's like, no, I've never been there. I don't know.
Right?
No, what are you classy.
And that's where I met Joe Rogan. And then like I did the show, and
Yeah.
as I got more into comedy, I started seeing him around everywhere. And of course, he was super nice to me. He's always
Yeah.
been nice to me. He asked me on his podcast, and that's how we really reconnected. So it's been beautiful.
Oh. Has he changed a lot since the 21 years, or is he still
None.
pretty?
He's
Yeah.
the same dude.
Oh.
Same dude. Just he's always just been helpful to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Because it was just a dream for me to be in Hollywood
Yeah.
all those years ago, or to be in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
It was just a dream. And he always said, man, if you ever come out here, hit me up. And over the right timing, it just worked out, and nothing was ever forced.
Yeah.
It was just natural. And that's the best way, where you're not
Oh.
trying to force something. It just
Yeah.
happened.
I see so many people try and force stuff all the time, or like
Oh,
network
if you live in Hollywood, it's every day.
I
You
know.
try to force it, and you can't force it. You got to it has to happen natural. I mean, you can force things, but then
Yeah.
it feels forced. And then if something goes, I
Yeah.
just I want to be genuine as possible.
Yeah. Did Justin Timberlake really make you wait 3
Yes.
hours?
It's a crazy story because this is when, like, I was at E Entertainment, so it had to be like 12 years ago. And Justin was doing a charity concert for something. And
Mhm.
E is like, you need to go interview him. And here's the thing, he's there. I see him walk by several times,
Come
but he
on.
still
Yeah.
makes me wait 3 hours, right? I am so hot. I am pissed.
Yeah.
Finally, he shows up. I do the interview. It's solid. It's good.
Yeah.
And then he says to his manager, "Hey, give him tickets to the show." And I'm like, like I said in my mind, nah. And I look down the second row, and then on stage, literally, he sees me and goes, "Yo!" And I lost my shit. I
Yeah.
started yelling. I started high fiving people around me. I started looking up for my friends, going, "You see that? You see? He just that's to me. That's it."
Yeah.
So it was pretty much the most amazing moment of my life at that moment because I didn't know I would get caught up into it like that. But when he said yo, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
I feel like you should write a book too, because you have such cool life
I
stories.
want to. I want to.
Yeah.
Eventually, I want to write a book about crazy stories I've had and just
Yeah.
all just I've seen so much,
I
so
know.
much. So all that's coming. It's all
Yeah.
coming.
Oh, well, thank you so much for doing this. I owe you forever. You're
Oh
incredible.
no, you're the best. You're the best. And let me know if you ever need anything else. Okay, Jess?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. All right. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Justin the Guest. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies. You know the drill. Thank you so much. A new episode next Thursday. Thank you.